Ugh, as if it needed to be even more muggy out there than it already is now that summer is here. But just like lush season's hay fever, the heavy fog of humid season is a unique Hamlet weather effect that will really do everything it can to damper our spirits, folks. Literally in this case. And that's the kicker, actually. As we're not just dealing with hot fog, we're gonna get dumped on from the heavens as well. So let's discuss. But unlike hay fever, the fog doesn't actually have a set start or end date come humid season. Well, I guess it will end after humid season is done, but you get the picture. It will kind of just do what it wants when it wants to do it, if you know what I mean. The thick fog will creep in from the edges of the screen, ultimately limiting our visibility, similar to the sandstorms that don't starve together, and we can expect this to last from anywhere between 1 to 3 minutes usually. Now, at first you might notice an insignificant increase in your wetness upon the fog's arrival. However, things may quickly speed up, and you might wonder why. But it's due to the fact that the fog is essentially a precursor to more weather effects in heavy rainfall, as when the fog clears, you're going to experience just that. Now, this heavy rain will also last 1 to 3 minutes. So yeah, the entire process is just going to differ from cycle to cycle throughout the entire season until the season is done, of course. But Beard, that doesn't sound too bad actually. So what gives? That's because I wasn't actually wearing anything on my head or in my armor slot, friend. For you see, most wearable clothing in this game will instantly weigh us down and cause fatigue within fog. And this here is the main reason for fog being the challenge that it is, as only a few exceptions exists. The slowdown is significant, which makes dealing with vampire bat waves, hordes of rabid beetles, or just any hostiles around tough. Plus, any Weber players out there will kind of have to be extra cautious come human season, as weighing when to wear their Hamlet mask versus switching to set exceptions is gonna be a thing from time to time. All that said though, don't let the main mechanic of the fog there take your attention away from its other challenge, the wetness. For you see, even when clothing that provides 100% resistance to it is worn, the wetness of the fog is gonna bloody ignore all of it. So don't even bother. You're literally only hurting yourself more by trying to beat it. You gotta save the clothing for when the fog is done instead. Still, there are a few ways to actually counter it while the fog is still active, like the oscillating fan here. While it won't negate the fatigue effects, the fan will still be able to prevent the fog's wetness from getting to you, because the fan is honestly the best bloody thing in all of Hamlet, so get you one. If you can, however, then don't be ashamed in just hopping into an interior for a few minutes just to escape the fog and dry off. That's honestly the easiest thing any of us can do, really. But here's one last tip for countering the fog's wetness. Tropical bouillabaisse. If you are connected to Shipwrecked and have every single unique fish farm fish at your disposal, then this dish could potentially just stop all wetness for a little while. Good stuff, if you know what you're doing. But yes, that's how we beat the wetness. How do we beat the fatigue? I'm glad you asked, as the pith hat here would like a word with us. The cork will come very easy from just one of the main flippin' trees in Hamlet, while the vines will likely come to you via snap toots, so make note there. But the cloth is always what gets people, so listen up. The deflated balloon at spawn for everyone but Wormwood will drop a piece guaranteed, and the general store on the spawn island may sell one too now and then. But here's another possibility available that you might not have thought about. Why not just buy a pith hat for Pete's sake? They only cost 10 oinks from the hat shop on the Palace Island, so be sure to check back each morning to see their stock. But the pith hat is pretty much the go-to for countering the fog in Don't Starve Hamlet here, as it will not only prevent any slowdown whatsoever, it's probably the cheapest craft out of the others to follow. So easy breezy. And although that last bit is true, that doesn't actually mean that the other options aren't viable at the end of the day. For you see, the cowl here is another headgear item capable of countering the fog, but it goes a step beyond that by serving as Don't Starve Hamlet's Mongols essentially. Sonar vision that will last for 2 days and not slow us down? Count me in. Well, if I can get a battleless swing, that is. For you see, vampire bats in Hamlet only drop them 10% of the time, versus a bat's 25% chance to do so in Don't Starve Together, and 15% chance outside of Hamlet's. Not great, but the cowl is still worth it if you do get one, mind. But believe it or not, we are already on our final exception, and it's this guy right here, the Weevil Mantle. The weevil carapaces will come from weevils in tall grass come dusk, so that'll be easy, while the chitin will likely come from manta rabbit beetles, which should also actually kind of be easy. But make one, and you will be free from fatigue as well. As long as you're not wearing any headgear, that is. That's the kicker. It's an okay armor, and it gets the job done. But headgear fog counters are much, much better in my opinion. The Weevil takes away your inventory and any other armor you want to wear when you got something on your noggin, but it's your choice. However, before we wrap up here, here's one last character-specific note. Any and all of Wagstaff's spectagrographics will allow for him to navigate the fog with absolute ease, so he is by far the best choice for Humid season if you're struggling there. Good luck. And there you have it, everyone. An admittedly long overdue guide on the heavy fog within Don't Starve Hamlet here. And I suppose the last thing I can throw in is a note on WX players having to really deal with all this wetness. But you know the counters now, so hopefully it won't be that bad. Thanks for watching, folks. Well wishes to all. Don't slog in the fog. And I'll see ya in the next one. Bye-bye.